Hello, it's Tash and Ro.
Welcome to or welcome back to
It's Saturday,
your personal self-care pod where you can escape the work week and unwind with your two besties.
No matter what day of the week it is, but for us, it's Saturday. Okay, we're cute and cozy on the couch. Where are we right
We're
now?
actually recording on a Saturday, which is new for us.
We are recording on a Saturday, and I got my Saturday State of Mind shirt on. We're here with two bombshells that have entered the pod today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello. Oh, Ashley Forte, happy to be here.
Woo!
Steph Polly, also happy to be here. Full name.
First and last name. Look her up on Facebook.
Long-time listeners, first-time potters. So we're here for a special little episode. I know it's been a little while. We'll be back with a real longer episode soon. But for now, we're going to talk all things Love Island. So we're all big Love Island fans here. So if you are not a Love Island fan, this episode might not be for you. Or if you are a Love Island fan, if you haven't caught up to episode 24, there's going to be a lot of spoilers. So don't listen.
USA. We're talking about USA today. But usually, we're usually Love Island UK people. Like at least I was up until last year. And I feel like now Love Island USA is really taken off, and we're watching that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're recording actually at Fjäll cabin, which is a lovely, beautiful cabin in Mont Tremblant that Steph and her fiance Airbnb. Yeah, Love Island. And we're talking about love and talking about engagements. And we'll link all of that information in the bio. So if you guys want to stay here, it's freaking stunning. They have beautiful sauna, gorgeous views. We're literally in the forest, guys. We saw blue jay earlier. It was stunning. So you guys can stay here. So we will link that below. But yeah, I think we should start off by talking about maybe our first impressions of the people in the villa, like what we thought of them. Because I know for me, who I liked at the beginning versus who I like now definitely changed. So I'm curious to know like who you guys liked when you first watched it, like thinking back to like the first episode.
You know what's really funny? I actually really liked Huda and Jeremiah at the beginning. Like I really thought that they just like saw each other and there was like instant connection and they just like really liked each other. That I actually was like, wow, that's love. And things changed very quickly.
I forgot that's the whole point.
Yeah.
I also did like Huda and Jeremiah at the beginning before the whole Hurricane Huda situation. But I have to say, like, first impressions of the girls, I thought Shelly was very sweet and genuine. I did like Alondra as well. And then Sierra coming in as a bombshell. I think those were like probably the main girls that I felt like were being genuine and like, yeah, just gave off good vibes.
Yeah, and I do find now, I think Love Island has really shifted. I'm thinking back to like season 3 of UK. They were like literally smoking cigarettes. People didn't really watch the show. Drinking all the time. Like people didn't go on the show to become famous. Whereas now, like you have all these influencers that are coming on and they're really just trying to like build their following. So it's a little bit less authentic in that sense. So I do find some of these girls are really scripted in the way that they move in the villa. Like they'll be having their confessionals and they've really thought through what they're saying, and I think it just makes it a little bit less like, are you here for the right reasons? That's why I think a lot of people like Amaya now, because like she's so unscripted and like very obviously not scripted at all. Like some of the stuff she's saying is kind of
singing random songs while she's getting ready.
That was so good. Oh my gosh.
No, but we were literally talking about that yesterday where instead of people like having that conversation right away when they're like frustrated or someone's talking to someone new, they're saying, well, like, wait, give me a second. Like, I'm going to sleep on it and I'll talk about it like level headed the next day. And it's like, no, like that, the show originally was you say it how it is and you go at people and you tell them how you're feeling. And now everyone's trying to be so composed. And I don't know, it's taking away from it a little bit, I find.
I will say too, I really miss the morning debriefs that they usually do like in the UK season. So if you're unfamiliar, in the UK, the girls wake up, the boys go and make them coffee and they sit on the terrace and they kind of recap everything. And now their morning is literally just spent like hours just doing like a full face of makeup. The boys bring them breakfast and then that's kind of it. You don't really get like any sort of debrief.
Yeah.
So I kind of
have
miss
you noticed
that.
too, in the girls when they're getting ready in the morning, like they're not really talking too much about like
No.
the relationship. Like, how are you feeling? Like they're just sitting there doing their full face, like beat the face of makeup and like get their breakfast, but there's like no discussion of like how they're feeling or how the relationship is going.
And it's more about who brought you breakfast that morning. Like that's
And what they brought you.
Yeah.
1 pancakes or 2?
Yeah.
Are we gonna have a crash out or not? I think that people that have grown on me is Nick. I really, at the beginning, I was just like, oh, yeah, this guy, but I do find him really like quirky and funny. And we all know his like iconic, like mamacita, like I'm a mommy whole thing. Like I feel like after that, I was like, okay, this guy is unintentionally so funny.
Yeah.
And I really like Nick right now.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's hilarious.
Yeah, who would you say? Who's your favorite, would you say? Or like some faves?
I feel like right now for me, in terms of guys, I would go for Pepe. I feel like he's been very genuine and like intentional with his conversations. And I did think that he was going to explore his connection with Grayson, but obviously he was still thinking about Hannah. We might see a little something developing with Iris. But I do feel like in terms of favorite boy in the villa right now, I would say Pepe. I do like Nick because he's funny and quirky, but I don't know that I fully believe in his like relationship with Sierra. I don't know how
Fair.
genuine that is
Yeah.
for me. I feel like the things that happened with Alondra when they were exploring the connection, like there's just too much back and forth, and when they closed things off at that picnic date that they had, it just didn't seem genuine, and I feel like she's way more into it than him. It's so obvious to me.
We're waiting for that movie night.
Movie night.
Speaking of Olandria, let's talk about girl code in this whole. I feel like it's a huge theme, and all the girls keep talking about girl code, specifically Shelly, Olandria, and Sierra are all talking about girl code. But how do we feel about Olandria and Nick exploring literally like one day after like everybody's separated and kissing each other? Like that's.
I feel like they throw the word girl code or girl's girl. Like you're not being a girl's girl. And it's like, what does that even mean? Especially when you're in a villa, you're all dating each other. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't really be a true girl's girl when your friend is dating your friend and they're all dating. And
It's not Girls Island. It's Love Island, unfortunately. But like, I understand there are lines, but like, I feel like they're a bit hypocritical with the things that they've done and the things that they expect of other people, and it's not fair.
Yeah, like the clip that we saw on TikTok where it's like literally Olandria is like looking at Sierra crying, and like she's so upset that like Nick just like is not there, and she's like missing him so much, and then like the next day just making out, soul ties. Like we need to test this. We need to test this. Like, okay, whoa, this is 24 hours, not even. Like that's actually crazy.
The body ain't even cold yet.
Yeah.
And we're kissing it. We're making out with it. It's soul ties. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, no. But I do agree with Shelly when she was saying girl code towards Huda, where Huda, when she was with Jeremiah, it was like absolutely no one can talk to Jeremiah. Like no one could discuss with him or like try to like pull him for a chat or anything. And then Huda flips that on Shelly and is like dancing aggressively on Ace. Like, I'm sorry, but like that was not girl
That was
code.
too
Like to
much.
me, like at least if you want to explore someone else's couple or someone else's partner, you have to like pull the girl for a chat or just kind of say like, hey, like I'm thinking about this. Like, I know this is awkward, but like I'm just giving you a heads up. Like to me, that's girl code. Like at least give a heads up.
Wait, can I be devil's advocate there? Because Shelly was also exploring Chris, and Huda and Jeremiah were pretty much only into each other. So I feel like Huda like made those boundaries very clear, whereas Shelly like was exploring Chris, so she never was fully like, I'm all about Ace. Like no one talked to Ace. Like she was exploring someone else, and you can't really give a heads up in the heart rate challenge that you're gonna do what she did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that was the game. I do think she took it too far, but I do think that Jeremiah and Huda's relationship was different, and that she and he both set way more clear boundaries, whereas Shelly's been like flip-flopping. So I feel like it's more murky water there.
Yeah.
Okay, if you guys were in the villa, and they always use this, they always say, it's just a challenge, it's just a challenge. So if you were dating someone in the villa, obviously not closed off or anything, and your partner did some crazy stuff and like the challenge, that would still bug me. I don't care if it's a challenge. It's just like that just happened. You just made out with someone. But it's just in the challenge. It's not outside the challenge. I'm like, but you still made out.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Especially twice, like double downing back, like there's something there. Like no, that would piss me off. Yeah.
I think you have to know you're going onto a show where like that's going to happen. And I don't know how deep my connection with someone else would be like after like a week and a bit. Like I know I would still probably be a little bit jealous, but when it's like the point of the show, it's kind of hard to get mad at someone else for doing something in a challenge unless they do take it a bit too far, which some people have.
It's just interesting because everyone's been so level-headed though. Like even Sierra, when Olandra was like, "Oh yeah, like I made out," like everyone's like, "Oh okay," like you know, like trying to be so understanding. And I'm like, no one is getting upset, and like I'm sorry, but like I kind
They're
of
trying
like
to save face. They're trying to save face and
Yeah.
gain followers and seem very just like chill, but like crash
No,
out.
Yeah, you have to have your boundaries. You have to state that clear. And like, I'm sorry, sometimes you can get a little heated, and like I think that's okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like everyone is thinking about how America is voting and they care a lot about their appearance and they also want to stay in Love Island. So they're grafting for those connections.
For those
And,
votes.
Like, obviously we're seeing this a little bit more with Amaya, but now the public is loving Amaya. She's this sweet, genuine girl who wears her heart on her sleeve. And now Brian is trying to get in with her and like, you know,
Zach.
like, who else was having conversations with her?
Yeah,
Zach. After that whole last episode where
He flipped a
they were
switch.
literally screaming at each other, and now all of a sudden when they do this like wingman challenge, she's like, nobody else that I would want by my side. I'm sorry, brother,
Yeah.
but like you're trying to stay in this competition. Like you want to make it to the end, and you know that if you tell this girl what she wants to hear, she will stare deeply into your soul and believe everything you're saying because she's so vulnerable and like, I don't want to say gullible, but like she's just very
Innocent.
trusting and innocent, and she wants love so badly
Yeah.
that if someone is kind to her, she'll think that it's genuine.
Yeah.
But they're really just trying to take it to the end. And I'm seeing these little sneaky like relationships forming that I just feel are just not genuine, and they're
genuine.
trying to make it to the end.
You have to
Yeah.
remember to like Amaya, America's Papaya, is the
Yeah.
only one who went on this show and doesn't have a freaking social media manager on her account. She hasn't posted since March or May. No one's like begging for votes on our Instagram, and she's
1.5 million as of yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what she
5
started at.
1.5.
Oh, 1.5.
not
yeah.
that. That's
That's like Molly May.
what is everybody's favorite Amaya's saying right now? What's your favorite one? There's a couple really good ones.
Opportunity.
Opportunity. I think mine's anxiety.
Ratatouille.
Tachycardic.
What was she trying to say when she said tachycardic? What
Well,
was
she is a nurse, right? So she's trying to say
Like
like
heart
I don't know if it's
attack?
a rapid heartbeat. It's a irregular heartbeat, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it called
Don't quote me on that,
tachycardic?
though. Yeah.
tachycardia is a real word? Okay, I'm like, what is she
It's a
trying to
medical term,
say?
yeah.
But don't they take
I'm
like
not
a
a
lot of
doctor.
tests? Like, shouldn't they be taking a lot of tests when you're a nurse? And like, don't you have to write these things out? Like, I'm a little concerned. She needs to learn how to spell.
Oh my gosh.
I think she has a little bit of a lisp, and it's kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, "Could this girl speak?" But now I'm like, "Okay." I'm loving the little catchphrases and the opportunity and the anxiety and
The singing.
gratitude. I love feeling a wave of gratitude. That's what
love
I
it.
feel when I'm with you guys. A wave of gratitude.
Also, Poppy came out with an Amaya papaya flavor.
that.
Wow.
But royalties on that.
Like,
Yeah.
how do you
She's gonna
think?
be at Coachella next year for sure in a poppy house.
Like, I'm trying to think of how, like, whose lives will change the most when they come out of the villa. And I feel like Amaya Papaya will definitely have her moment. I
Huda.
feel like Huda, who's at like 1.8
She's at
million.
1.8. She started at 120K.
It's kind of
apparently.
like Francesca when she went on Too Hot to Handle. Literally, you would refresh her page and it would go up by hundreds and hundreds of thousands. And she started at like 200,000 and finished the show with like 4 million. And now, like, look at her.
Yeah.
And I think she's Huda, like you either love her or you hate her, or you're kind of just like, she brings a lot of like drama to the show, and it's entertaining to watch her, honestly. Because if everyone was like Iris, like, I'm sorry, but the show would be boring, right? Like,
Yeah.
we need to have those spicy people that are just bringing some drama into the show.
I
So
want to hear the current perspective of Huda, because I feel like we all started off about liking her and Jeremiah's relationship, but like, where do we stand right now with Huda? I would love to hear, because I have a lot of opinions.
oh,
but
tell
happy
us,
to
pop
start.
off. Okay.
I think that, you know, she was very vulnerable in the beginning. She talked about being a mommy, and you know,
Mamacita.
I feel like his reaction, Jeremiah, was not as expected. I think it could have been a little bit more like sensitive and genuine. My concern is with the screaming, yelling names, eavesdropping, that type of behavior to me if it was a man doing that on the show, they would want him voted out immediately. So I just feel like people are giving her a lot of grace. And I think that she's obviously gotten a lot of hate online, and they've been posting a lot of things about bullying and like just being kind because we're all human beings.
Yep.
But I just feel like that type of behavior, when it was unapologetic on her part, I feel like you need to have more self-awareness and be apologetic, because that's just not acceptable behavior.
Yeah.
For me personally, that's where I stand. I feel like she's definitely made up for that, and she is trying to find a genuine connection. But in those few like first episodes, I was like, this is bad.
Yeah. And then we have to keep reminding ourselves that these guys are like 22.
Yeah.
And I think back to me being 22, and I would not want to be on a reality TV show, because some of the stuff I did when I was 22 should not be recorded.
Your brain is literally not fully developed yet. So I honestly 100% agree with what you said. I do feel like she has like changed her behavior a lot, which I do respect. But again, if it was a man that was saying those words to a woman, there'd be no grace given.
Immediately no.
Immediately no. I feel like when it comes to like name calling and the thing and like doing those things, like I just feel like, yeah, you just say you kind of forget. It was so long ago, you kind of forget about it, but it did happen. And roles reversed, like Jeremiah would have been out like the next day for sure. Yeah.
Even the conversations that he's had on podcasts afterwards, I just feel like he's very well spoken and down to earth, and like, I don't know, I just feel like he didn't deserve to be treated that way, and I think he did really care about her. But once he started to see that behavior recurring, and when you get screamed at and like you're being sworn at, it's super unpleasant. And I respect him for stepping out of that relationship and taking a chance with Iris. But I just feel like nobody deserves to be spoken to that way. It's just not acceptable.
It was so funny when they're like, what'd you do on your date? Oh, we had a picnic by the ocean. Cute, my dream date. And
As if he planned
and
it.
he knows that. It's like, girl, he had no say in the game. He did not know what they were doing. Like, come on. Yeah.
There's a lot of love bombing happening like in their early relationship.
sure.
Like it was definitely
It was
too much,
toxic.
and like you could tell it was toxic and unstable. And
That would not have worked
she,
out.
Like you can tell she has like attachment issues and was really like latching on to him. So yeah, no, honestly that was something that wasn't gonna last, unfortunately.
Okay, let's do Snog, Marry, Pie. Pepe. Ace. And
Mary Ace.
No, she's picking
I'm
three
I'm
boys.
picking the three.
Oh.
Mary Nick? And Nick,
Oh.
right? Who do we think? Or should we?
I would definitely.
Sorry.
Side note on that, like Ace, who was it that was interested in Andreana or whatever? Oh, Nick was interested
Yes.
in her.
Nick.
And Nick,
Nicola.
Nicola was in that group with Taylor and Ace. And as they are the like mean boys, if you will, of like the villa, they follow Ace. Nick wanted to explore that with Andreana, and then basically they kicked him out. They kicked Jeremiah out because they were like, oh, he's clearly forming a deeper connection with her. So that will ruin Nick's chances of exploring that connection.
Yeah.
And so they kicked him out.
The crazy part is that they got rid of Hannah when they were like, it's because she has a strong connection, or like she already formed some connections, so we're gonna get rid of her.
That makes no sense. I'm so sorry, but like that
backwards.
makes
That really pissed me off.
No sense. No,
Okay.
they had a great connection. They were actually like a really good couple.
Yeah, they were
like they seem to
cute.
be kicking out every couple. Like we have barely any couples right now because
There's a week left. It might be over by the time this episode airs.
Papaya's just gonna win the whole thing. A solo.
Okay, another Snog, Marry, Kill. We're going to do Austin. Yeah, Snog, Marry, Pie. Austin, Taylor, Ace.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, think about it. I think I know mine. I think I know mine. Okay, I'm gonna marry Taylor, actually. I'm going to Snog Ace, and I'm going to pie Austin.
Agree. Done.
Yeah.
Austin, I can't stand. Like, I
No, I'm
actually
sorry,
cannot
no.
stand him.
When he got sent home, I was like, I just
How'd you
could
make
not
it this
stand him.
long? Like,
Yeah. He even said it himself. I'm sorry. He was like, why am I still here? I don't know.
America doesn't know either.
His reaction about Shelly and Ace in the beginning when they were in that love
That seems
triangle,
so long
and he
ago.
was like, you know what you want, just do it. Like, he was just having a meltdown, and I was like, you need to just take a minute and take a breath here.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So right now, there's a couple of couples, or maybe we see a couple of couples starting to form. Who do you see winning right now? If you had to put your money on it, who would be winning?
I think it's just a popularity contest, and either Huda or Amaya are going to win with whoever they end up with. So good, Huda and Chris, and Amaya and whoever. She
Maybe
picks.
Brian.
Yeah.
I could kind of maybe see Iris and Pepe forming a really strong bond over the next week and a bit, and maybe taking it, or at least making top 3.
Yeah, I would have loved for Sierra and Nick to win.
Yeah, they've been
I'm
together
still
the
rooting for them.
longest.
Yeah, I'm still rooting for them. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's so funny because everyone, I feel like, liked Huda and then really didn't like her. And there were a lot of memes, Hurricane Huda, all of this. And then now with her popularity, everyone seems to be loving her. So what's going on, America? I don't understand.
That also shows you like social media is just such an up and down game, and like you can't take anything to heart because one minute you're like the most popular person, next minute everyone hates you, the next minute you're popular again. Like,
I did really respect the conversation with Chris and Shelly where he didn't even leave the door open to exploring. Like,
Yeah.
they closed things off, like in terms of obviously they were not exploring things anymore after that whole challenge. But I feel like he is showing genuine interest in exploring her. And she's obviously being empathetic towards him when he said he had a dream about basketball and he was feeling upset in the morning and she was comforting him. So I think they could maybe form a connection.
Yeah.
Maya maybe with Brian, they were getting a little hot and heavy.
I just don't know if I like them together, though.
I
for some
agree.
reason.
I agree. But the public
Yeah.
sees it completely. It's all about, again, like popularity
Yeah.
contests. What is America seeing? Like, who's gaining all of that growth, like, for followers on social media? It's not about love anymore. It's about who is the most popular couple or, like, the favorites at the end of the day. But Amaya's definitely up there.
So Amaya will definitely pick Brian in the recoupling, and I think Zach will go home. Elan will go home. Who else is in a little weird triangle? I feel like that's kind of it, actually. Iris will pick Pepe.
Yeah.
Nick, Sierra, Chris, Huda.
by the time this comes out, that's already happened. So.
Yeah, we'll see how right we are on
How
our
do we
predictions.
feel about Clark and Taylor? Because I feel like we haven't really talked about
Oh my
Clark at all.
God.
I'm like, we need to talk about Clark because, like, let's talk about
Okay.
how we're feeling about her. How would she feel in this situation?
She's really grown on me. Like at the beginning, I didn't really like her that much for some reason. I didn't know her well enough, I guess. But I feel like she's just handled the whole situation with a lot of grace, a lot of poise, and I feel bad for her because she's getting a lot of slack and hate from America because of Taylor. But I also don't necessarily think Taylor handled the situation poorly. I think that Olandria just didn't pick up on the cues that he wasn't into her. I picked up on them watching them, the body language, how long it took for him to kiss her, things he was doing for her. It was just so obvious to me. So I feel like people have done way worse things.
No, 100%. And
Yeah, go ahead.
well, I was just going to say, like, it was just, to me, it was so obvious. Like, it's not a friendship island. And if you're talking with someone and you're just like standing like this and you don't want to like touch them or hug them, like, I could just tell he was not that into her. And I know that there were rumors that like maybe he still had someone outside of the villa. So I didn't know. I was like, okay, is he still into his ex or something? But I think he was just not into Olandria. And she didn't know. And everyone's like, why did it take 3 days to fall for Clark? Well, he had an instant connection with her. When you know, you know. And I can tell you that's very true. So
I feel like in Love Island history, people always hate on the Casa girls because they're like thought of as like these side girls, like these side chicks.
Yeah.
And usually what happens if you find someone in Casa, they end up lasting longer than the original OG villa people. So people have always like, you always have to watch out for those Casa girls because once you see them, you're like, oh, they end up being like a stronger couple because it's more instant versus like these villa girls have been around for a while and it never really works sometimes. So I don't know. I like Clark too. I'm like, you can't hate on her just because like they formed a connection stronger than Olandria and Taylor.
they're cute together. They're very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. They might win it too.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I also am a little bit disappointed with how rushed the season is. Like, I feel like they did Casa way too early. They did the heart rate challenge too early. And I did not like the couples together. I think it should have just been girls sitting and one guy coming to dance and vice versa. I feel like it got too messy with the couples. And I feel like movie nights must be around the corner because the season's over in a week. So I just feel like they rushed the season too much.
Because those are the best episodes. The best episodes is Casa, movie night, and the heart rate challenge. And if you don't have good couples established at that time, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, we did Casa, and then now there's like 30 people back in the main villa, like, and no one really seemed to care. Everyone recoupled. There was no one upset except for Nick and Sierra, and that was it. So that was disappointing. I wanted to see more couples form before they go to Casa, because that is the best part of Love Island.
Any final thoughts?
Excited for movie night. Excited for movie night. It's going to be spicy.
UK because Steph is saying
I'm telling
that it's really
you,
good, so.
you guys are gonna love UK. I've already seen the heart rate challenge. They haven't done Casa yet, but there's been some good drama. Like a
So
lot
heart rate
of bombshells
challenge
coming in.
before Casa. Interesting.
Yes,
Is it
and
usually
was
like that?
Spicy.
Is it usually like that? No.
But I will say now maybe we'll have another episode coming out. We'll do like a UK one. Well,
Yeah.
This is USA. We'll do UK.
Okay.
Are there couples, at least, in the UK one?
It's they take their time in the UK. I feel like it's around 50-ish episodes, whereas the US
Yeah.
one is around 30. So they give it a chance to build,
1 month
and they
versus
add
2.
those tests in there, like the bombshells coming in. Like there's been a lot of testing connections. There's been some surprises of couples that I thought were great together that ended up, going in a different direction. So I'm not going to say too many spoilers,
Yeah, no
but I'm just going to
spoilers.
say I'm loving this season and definitely catch up, and we'll have to do a recap on that soon. Yeah.
Love
100%.
that.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll put all the details below of Fjäll Cabin so you can book your stay and watch Love Island so you can
Yeah.
keep up with us.
Keep grafting.
Okay,
Right?
we love you guys.
Bye.